So we are now very happy with our masterpiece, and we would like to share it around or embed it on a website or anything like that. And we've tried to make that as easy as possible for everyone. So to share your content, you click the aptly named share button. And of course, there's some direct links to some social media platforms, which will open up their respective sharing pages. You can generate a QR code. You can even take an HD photo of the current snap if you just kind of want to email it to somebody or send it over an instant messenger. There's our old pal tour guide, and then we have this one, which is going to be the main focus for this video, which will give us the links to share and embed. So we get a pop-up that has multiple tabs, and if you just want to share this out and just send it to somebody, the public URL is what you're after. I'm using our staging server right now, so our URL is going to be different than yours. Also, if you're using a custom domain and you're logged into that domain, this will show your custom domain as well. So copy that, send it out, and that's it. That's your public URL. If you have the text viewer URL, this will give you an ADA compliant text viewer, which will take the contents of your snap and dynamically make them into a text viewer. So you can see here all our embeds are linked. It has the audio file linked, as well as our other links to other snaps and the images used. Now, if you want, you can also override preferences via the URL. So let's say we have a bunch of custom branding on here for client A, and we want to send it to client B to try and pitch them some business. Obviously, you don't want to show client A's logo to client B, and so you can do things like this, where that link you send now will have your custom branding disabled, and it'll have any patches on your Nadir and Zenith turned off as well. This is also useful for those real estate sites that require you to not have any logos or branding and stuff like that. So that is the overriding preferences. You can also say, okay, well, do I want to start at the snap's default position, which you can set in the snap preferences, or do I want to set it right what I'm looking at right here, the current view? So for example, if I wanted to just have these pesky kids in focus like this, I can take this sharing URL, go to the current view, copy it, paste it in here, and look at that. I have started looking at those pesky kids and then can go on from there. All right. Now that's the URL tab. The embed tab is if you want to embed the content in your website or a client's website or wherever you'd like. Again, default position, current view position, and the embed type you'd want. So you can have it responsive where it will size dynamically depending on the parent container, or you can set it to a fixed size. Again, that's totally up to whatever you need. Then we have some other settings where you can set things like aspect ratios, maximum width and height, both in percentage and pixels. So if you only want it to be real small or really big, you can do that. And then the override preferences as well. So you get some code down here, a script embed, and the script embed has some other flashy things involved with it, where if you have multiple embeds on a page, for example, it's going to load 2 of them at the same time, and on any other ones will have a play button on them automatically. And that's simply for memory saving, because on mobile devices and tablets and stuff like that, they don't have a lot of memory. And so trying to view 10 or 15 different snaps on there, of course, is going to crash their browsers. So the embed script has that clever code in it. It also has a workaround for some iOS devices where you can still get the gyroscope to work, so people can use their mobile phones to look around using an iframe, which you normally can't do. So there are some benefits to using a script embed. If you have a website or you're using one of those cheapo providers that doesn't let you embed scripts but does let you embed iframes, we also have the ability to embed an iframe. And so you can embed an iframe directly. You won't get any of the benefits of the script that we talked about earlier, but at least you'll still be able to embed it. Now, the other thing we have is these hash links here. And so a hash is the end part of the URL. So you can see here, after my snap, there's this hash and then my fragment. And so this is a cool thing that lets you control your embed from the parent page if you're technically inclined, because it does involve a little bit of scripting. So this is very useful because it means that you can control the embed from your parent website. So if you have a product page and some product buttons on your website and someone clicks that product button, you can get the camera in SeekBeak to pan around and focus on that product or something like that. You can also have it click hotspots, or if you're in 3D models, you can also have it go to waypoints. So for example, if we have, the obvious one is this for sale sign, right? So what if we wanted someone to click on, check out this building on the parent website where we have it embedded. So what we could do is we go share, and we would get the hash for this. And so what that is here we go. This lists all the hotspots. So there's for sale sign. And do we want to click? No, we want to just focus on the hotspot. So we can copy this hash fragment, it's called. And if I just place it, I'm going to close this down. If I go up in my address bar here and I place it at the end of my URL and press enter, the camera automatically whizzes over and focuses on the for sale sign. Okay, so let's take a look at a real world example of this. So this is done by some very clever people, Maria and Paolo, and they had, and myself. And so what they've done is they have integrated this into Intuiface, which is software for designing UIs for kiosks and stuff like that. And they have used SeekBeak as an iframe embed in the background. And so what each of these do is they change the URL to add that fragment onto it. So they're now changing SeekBeak to navigate around to different waypoints. And so of course it's still, your Gaussian splat, and you can click the hotspots, which are inside SeekBeak. And then you can click these, which are inside Intuiface, right? So you can drive your SeekBeak content from your parent container. Okay, so flicking back to this example makes me sad inside because their example is so much better, but the concept is the same, right? You're able to activate hotspots or focus on hotspots or waypoints from the parent. Now, back to the sharing dialog, we have tracking as well. So if you have the UTM tracking enabled, what you're able to do is tag things via UTM codes. So if you wanted to say, this was, I'm going to have a Google ad, for example. Google, and the medium is going to be, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just put ad. And then this one will be summer 2024, for example. And so you see what's happened now is this has generated these UTM codes, which are a standard for tracking terms via URLs. So if I send this out in my summer 2024 email marketing campaign, I will be able to go into my reports area and filter by these UTM codes and figure out who from that summer campaign clicked the links, how many people, stayed on my snap and looked at it versus the 2023 campaign. And so the UTM filtering, depending on if you want to use it or if that's what you like to do, you can get very granular. And again, you can download a QR code for this as well if you're doing print media or posters or anything like that, or maybe even business cards at trade shows. Who knows? It's all up to you. And that is a very high level overview of the sharing options that you have when you're using SeekBeak.